So today I want to talk about commission splitting. I'll get into my background in a minute, but in probably the last 18 months, it's come up quite often that people hear about it, think about it. Some companies are advertising or marketing that they can enable this. And I think there's a lot of questions around, is this something we should be considering for the industry or not? And so I wanted to kind of go through and give everybody a little bit of information around this to consider. And I want this to be interactive, so once we're done, you know, we're a lot of smart people. We came here to talk, so I'd love not just only questions, but your own opinions, feedback, anecdotal stuff, whatever you have. So my name is Todd. I've been in the industry since 1998. I've always kind of been at the center of all of the partnerships out there. I helped found the first global affiliate network, Commission Junction. So I got to see a lot of advertisers and publishers working together. I then went on to Digital River to create their global affiliate network for their e-commerce platform. And then we kind of got the band back together to create Impact Radius. And just so you know what Impact Radius is, if you're not real familiar, we're a marketing technologies company. We have a suite of products. One is called Forensic. It's a brand that we bought. They do ad fraud monitoring and detection, so they look at impressions, clicks, conversions, installs, in-app activity to detect non-human traffic. So nobody wants to buy seemingly real traffic or installs. We also have a product called Media Manager, which is a kind of a system of record for marketing departments to measure all of their paid, earned, and owned traffic, and then provide aggregate reporting, cost importing, and any kind of modeling, attribution modeling. The reason I'm here today is because of our kind of flagship, or something we're probably best known as, our Partner Manager product, which is a global affiliate and partner management solution. So today I want to talk about kind of like why do we want to split commissions? Like, what's the concept behind it? What really makes sense in splitting commissions? Some of the challenges that we need to be aware, if we're going to go down that path, what do we need to be worried about or concerned about? Kind of what are the goals? If we're going to do commission splitting, there ought to be some outcomes that we care about, the goals that we're trying to achieve, and then what are some of the common outcomes of actual real life application of a commission splitting scheme. And then I want to kind of give you an alternative to commission splitting that I think is simpler and maybe more appealing. So why do we want to split commissions? I've talked to a lot of people in the industry, our existing clients. I've talked to publishers and agencies that work with us. I've talked to other advertisers that don't use Impact Radius. I've talked to networks and other platforms that do commission splitting and former employees there. And I've been kind of aggregating all of this data, information, opinions, to try to give you guys, do all the hard work for you. So now you can just sit back and enjoy. So the most common reasons that you hear why people want to split commissions is, well, when you buy other media, you pay for it whether it converts or not. You pay for it whether it's last click or not. And some people think that maybe last click just isn't quite all it's cooked up to be anymore. It's maybe not perfect. And so if we're buying display, social, and search, regardless of whether it converts or where it is in the funnel, why not pay affiliates if they're not last click or in addition to the last click affiliates? Another thing that you hear about is that you really can't know which affiliate made the consumer buy, right? We're not mind readers. So, you know, is it the second to the last, the third to the last affiliate that actually really was, you know, the thing that pushed them over the edge, or did they all three kind of work in concert together? The other thing is that some partners are really good at being last click. Just the way the consumer interacts with coupon and loyalty, they know it kind of comes at the end of the funnel. And there are other affiliates that we may value in the affiliate channel that are producing content and doing influencing marketing and things that maybe are equally valuable or even more valuable that don't always get to be last click. And so some advertisers are like, how can I help them get paid, right? And the other reason is it just seems like the right thing to do, right? It's fair, right? If all of you were paid a commission right now for the sale I just got, that would be really fair, as opposed to just giving you all the commission, right? But is it really practical? We'll kind of look at some of this. So some of the challenges with splitting commissions that I see is that, first of all, one size doesn't fit all. What you don't want to do is say, all right, I figured it out. I'm going to do commission splitting, and all affiliates get the same commission splitting. So if you're second to the last and I'm the last, I get 60% and you get 40. If I'm the only one, I get 100%. If you're the only one, you get 100%. The problem with if one size fits all, especially if you're a retailer, if you work with Retail Me Not and Ebates and you get to see common paths to conversion in the affiliate channel, there are tons of unique, just Retail Me Not was the only touch point. There's tons where Ebates was the only touch point. But the next two most common conversion paths for most advertisers are Retail Me Not Ebates and Ebates Retail Me Not. Now, I don't think very many advertisers want to split commissions between those two partners. That's not kind of the concept that we're going for. So just applying it broadly to your program, I think, is a mistake, and it's not going to get you what you're looking for. The other thing is, you know, should we be considering all the other paid channels that are in the mix with affiliates? Back in 1998 and the early 2000s, there were like 4 marketing channels: email, affiliate, display, and price comparison engines. I mean, you know, that was about it. And the consumer didn't really interact across channels. They kind of saw something on the internet and clicked it and moved on. The other thing is, if you think about back in that time, everybody at work had a desktop computer. You went to your desk to use the computer, and you went home and you had an internet access portal in some, you know, part of your house, and the whole family shared it. So you didn't have a lot of cross-device activity, and frankly, nobody was measuring it back then anyway. But today, it's a very complex ecosystem. We have consumers touching multiple marketing channels across multiple devices. And so is affiliate really last click, or are they really third to the last click and there are other paid channels? So a lot of advertisers pay when the affiliate is truly last click, and if a paid search click is actually last, the affiliate doesn't get paid. So this is something that we need to understand. If we're splitting commissions, what do we do with the other channels that are in the mix here? The other thing is, you maybe have heard this with Amazon. It comes up in the marketing news where somebody gets caught, or Amazon will admit they have problems where some affiliates are injecting clicks into browsers. So how many people here, just as a show of hands, in the last week or most likely in the next week will make a purchase from Amazon? Raise your hand. I know I will. Okay, so if I could put a cookie for my Amazon affiliate program on all your browsers right now, I bet I would make some money. Right? I would get a commission eventually. So there was a lot of affiliates that were just injecting clicks fraudulently on browsers for Amazon, because the odds are you're going to buy from this week from Amazon, from Walmart, from Target, from Kohl's, right? Those are really large brands that people tend to buy a lot from. So the odds are in your favor that you'll end up winning and being last click. Maybe 1%, but it's free money. Everybody like free money? So now if you say, but you don't have to be last click anymore. You can be second and even third to the last click, and I'll pay you something. The fraud footprint goes up. Because now, and it's inevitable that some smart, evil person figures out how to start injecting clicks because you're paying not even on last click. So it's something you have to think about. You are exposing yourself to a greater fraud risk in your affiliate channel. And then probably the most important thing is, if I'm going to split commissions, is it going to drive more value, right? I have a job to do, which is managing my affiliate program, and I want to get more out of it. I don't want to keep it the same. So let's talk a little bit about that. As marketers, regardless of what channel you manage, or channels, I know some of you manage more than one channel, what are our marketing goals? Like, why do we have jobs, and what do our bosses and our CEOs expect us to do? Well, probably grow revenues is a common theme that we all hear around the office. I don't know any affiliate managers that are told to keep revenues flat this quarter or this year, right? Everybody wants things to go up. So that's an outcome that we're looking for in our affiliate channel. It's a goal that probably measured on. Maybe improving our return on ad spend. You know, the good thing about affiliate is it's fixed. We can control it, but we can improve it as well, right? So it's something that we might be measured on or have a goal around. The other is improving margin. So obviously, if I can get higher margin products or lower margin products promoted, I can affect my margin. If I'm not using coupons for some sales as much, or I'm not paying as much in commissions, my margin is affected there as well. There's also, I think a lot of us are trying to increase the average order value. If we get the same number of sales this month, but our average order value were 20% higher, I think we would probably have 20% more revenue. So that would be a good thing. We're also always looking to acquire new customers. If we're only selling to our existing customers, we're going to go out of business eventually. So these are the things that we care about, managing our channels. And so if we're going to split commissions, we need to make sure that our return on investment, the most I can work is 24/7, okay? So if I do that, that's the maximum investment I can make into my affiliate channel. I don't think anybody here is going to work that hard, but that's the maximum our team can put in, so many hours a week, a month. And we want to get as much out of it as possible. So if we're going to make all these changes, we have to be able to be certain that our effort is rewarded. I always kind of break marketing down to two things: administrative tasks and revenue generating tasks. So administrative is uploading new banners, maybe running some reports, doing a little analysis. But actually recruiting partners, optimizing partners, analyzing commission schemes and structures and changing them, that's really where the revenue is generated. So we want to minimize administrative, maximize our revenue generating activity, but we don't want to just do a bunch of revenue generating activity and then see no additional revenue generated. So when I talk to all of these people that I've been talking to, what's going on with commission splitting? What do you think of it? I talk to some brands. Would you even consider it? Never. We don't care about it. Coincidentally, the largest brands that I talk to do not care about commission splitting. It's really not something they want. It's too much of a hot mess. But a lot of smaller brands that really, I think a lot about it and have tested it and care about it. And everybody in the middle is kind of thinking about it too. So what are some of the outcomes? Well, the no-brainer is the commissions get redistributed, right? It's like smearing peanut butter on bread, right? Instead of just putting it on one side, we're smearing a little over to the other side. So the spend is redistributed somehow, some way when we split commissions. So that's going to be an outcome. But what I've asked over and over is, what about your marketing goals? Are you driving more revenue when you put commission splitting in? And I've seen some people speak about it, a few agencies that have talked about it with a few clients. But I will say more people have told me, and it almost was like they didn't even think about it. I go, okay, can you attribute more revenue from the affiliates that were split commission? And I have not gotten very many yeses. Could happen to you, but how much, right, is another question. Is it incremental to the work, the investment that you made? And again, we're not here to hold revenue flat. And the program may still grow, but if we look at the affiliates that we're working with to give split commissions, if they're not driving more revenue, then all we're doing is spreading commissions around. Return on ad spend can decrease. Now, it's kind of complex. How do you decide to split commissions? And I will tell you at the end of this, I have a presentation I did at AM Days in San Francisco earlier this year, and then I went and recorded it as an on-demand webinar, and I'll talk about how you can just get it on our website for free. And I go through a lot more of the mechanics of how to do commission splitting. It's like 40 minutes long. You can just watch it whenever you want. But if I have a last-click affiliate that I pay 2% to, and I have a content site that I'm paying 10% to, let's just use it because the math is easy in my head, and I want to split commissions because they're both involved. So I do a 60-40 split. So the 2% guy is getting 1.2%. The 10% guy is getting 4%. So I just paid 5.2% on that conversion. So I would have paid 2 if it was last click only, right? So again, your return on ad spend is going to be affected in some of these cases. And then, is this a poor return on on investment for our resources? Because we go through all this effort and then we don't really see a material increase in revenue. Was it worth it? So where should we invest to maximize our return on investment? How should we approach this so that we get it right? One thing is, it's obviously got to be a data-driven decision. So what I've seen is that there's really not many affiliates that you should be splitting commissions with. And there's lots of affiliates that you for sure shouldn't split commissions with. So if we say, okay, last click is what we like, and then we're going to go with that, but there's some affiliates, and the way we identify that is I want to know some of these last click guys that are really strong, when they win, I need to know who else is typically involved. And when they lose, who typically wins. I want to know that. And then for these guys that I start to identify out there as kind of upper funnel, maybe high value, when they are involved, who typically wins? And when they do win, who else is involved? You've got to understand that dynamic in order to identify the investment that we're going to make and the changes of the tests that we're going to do. So data is your friend. And if you don't have that kind of data, intra-affiliate contributions and click paths and things like that, it's going to be very difficult. A lot of affiliate networks only show you the winning affiliate. So it's not always easy to get this data. And again, the goal of splitting commissions is to drive more value. It should not be just to split commissions. I mean, you can do that. That's great. That's fair. But it's probably not helping you grow your channel. And that's, I think, what we're all here to do. The less is more. You know, everybody talks about the 80-20 rule, 95-5. You know, 5% of your affiliates drive 95% of the volume. But if you think about it, there's probably, you know, 25%, 28% of your affiliates that have enough traffic and potential conversions or actual conversions that you should be analyzing. That other 75%, 80%, it's herding cats. Like even if you got all of that 80% or 90% of your affiliate channel to grow by 10%, it's 5% of your revenue, right? So you got a 0.5% increase. I can talk to one large affiliate in half an hour, drive a, you know, double-digit increase. So, you know, again, look at your return on investment and try to do less with more, right? I mean, I guess that should be more with less. And then communication. Like, all right, here's an example. We're all sitting around at work, a little bored today, log in, look at our paycheck, just see our pay stub. That looks higher than I thought I was getting paid. And you go back to the pay stub before, same amount, go back 3 months. Was I crazy? Was I always been getting paid this much? Then you go back to the 4th month and you realize, oh no, that's how much I was paid. I must have got a raise 3 months ago and no one told me. Well, that would be happening if I just started splitting commissions with you guys and didn't say anything. Like, why give you more money if you're not going to work? I give an employee a raise. I say, hey, you've been doing a great job. You got a lot of potential here. I want to give you this raise. And here's some of the objectives I have for you this quarter, this year that I need you to step up and do, right? And then you're going to go, I just got a raise. And he gave me clear direction on what I got to do this quarter, this year. I'm excited. I'm going to go do that. So if you don't communicate to the 5, 10 affiliates that you want to start splitting commissions with what you expect for that, and that you're going to measure it, and you're going to come back to them, and if they don't deliver it, you're not going to keep splitting commissions because you've already started, right? And it's not fun to tell you I'm going to split commissions with you and I expect more out of it, and then you don't achieve that, and then I go, I'm going to stop splitting commissions with you. Probably worked backwards on myself on that one. So, you know, you have to think about this from a strategy of what you value from those affiliates, where they play a role that's important, and communicate it to them that I want to test this with you. I want to try this with you, right? Test is the word. Don't just say, you're going to get split commissions now. So let's talk about an alternative way to not split commissions, but kind of have the concept of that. It might be a little simpler. So first I want to say, I don't think last click is broken. I think it still works. I think it's easy. I think it works. There's still a lot of marketing departments that measure all their traffic on last click as one model. Then they might have an attribution model. They might have an algorithmic model, a rules-based model, and they compare them all. They don't just use one model. But last click still matters. It still works. So if I'm going to pay all of you whatever the commission rate is when you're last click, that's going to work. It's not broken. But there are a lot of companies and potentially agencies that want you to think it's not broken. Because if I have something that my competitors don't have, I want to tell you, you should be splitting commissions because I have a bunch of tools that can help you split commissions. Whether it's driving value for you or works for you, it's something I got nobody else has. So I have a vested interest in making that seem like something pretty neat and that you should, you know, shiny, buy it, right? So just take that with a grain of sand. But some, not all, partners probably should be rewarded when they're not the winner. There's probably clear data that shows there are a few affiliates that I think should be get a contribution. So how can we do that without maybe going too crazy? one that I like is what I call a contribution bonus. So I've got that 2% and that 10% affiliate. So when the 10% affiliate's last click, she gets 10%. The 2% affiliate's last click, he gets 2%. But now my 10% affiliate is second to the last click again. So all I want to do is pay them 2% when they're second to the last click, when maybe only certain affiliates are winning, not all affiliates that are last click. There's a certain number of affiliates that I feel take value away from this affiliate if I don't, you know what I mean? It's not any last click and you're second to last, you'll get 2%. It's these specific affiliates, if they overwrite you and you're second or third within this look back window, I will give you 2-3%. So now I've got 2% on the last click maybe, I've got 2% in this affiliate, okay, it's 4, it's 10% of the time. It doesn't really affect my return on ad spend too much. The other one, and this is far simpler, and I know a lot of advertisers that do it, I'm just surprised it's not done more, is hybrid compensation. It's where you say, I'm paying you 8% or 10% or 2%, whatever it is, normal, on last click. And at the end of the month, if that earnings that you had did not back out to 25 cents CPC effective, even though I paid you on a CPA, so let's say it backed out to 20 cents or 22 cents, I'm going to give you a 5 or 3 cents per click bonus at the end. What I'm saying is I guarantee your traffic's worth this much. But at 8%, if you can get an effective CPC of 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, $1, good for you. So you're kind of incenting them. I mean, you're saying, I trust you, and I trust your traffic. And as long as your network or your tracking platform is tracking unique clicks and not raw clicks, you're totally protected from click fraud, which I think a lot of people worry about when they hear CPC in the affiliate space. The legacy networks, there was no concept of a unique click. Everything was raw. You double click a hyperlink, you log into your reporting, it's 2 clicks. Today, the IAB standard is a rolling 30-day window, or 30-minute window. So if you click on a link and you come back 5 minutes later and click on it, it's only 1 click. And it resets the 30-minute window. So I have to wait 31 minutes or 30 minutes and 1 second to create that second click, same user, same ad, however it works. So you're protected against click fraud to a certain degree, and there's other tools that can measure it. But you probably already know how this affiliate's performing. So it's not like they're going to suddenly send you 10 times more traffic, right? You would get a little upset. There is another alternative. Hey, just, you're good. I trust you. I value your contribution. It's hard for you to win, but you're important in the funnel. I'll give you an example. When we acquired Clear Sailing from eBay Enterprises, and we bought them for their algorithmic technology or data scientists to incorporate into our attribution modeling. And they gave this really cool story where they're meeting with a client. They sold women's apparel. And they decided, in looking at the keywords they were buying, that they had a keyword that was never a last click winner. It was always way up the funnel. It was cute summer dresses. And they were like, screw that word, man. We're spending all this money and we're not going to buy it anymore. And their summer dresses, most of the cute ones probably, but the summer dresses sales really, really dramatically dropped off. And the reason was, that's how I found out this retailer sold cute summer dresses. And then I started looking around for dresses to buy in other keywords to find out exactly what I want. So just like that keyword couldn't be seen as driving revenue as on a last click or at the bottom of the funnel, it was something that was in the mix and possible for me to see that it's adding value. And other affiliates can be doing that too. So these are viable models. Just make sure you've got the protection on the unique clicks. And of course, measure and optimize partners. The channel you can report. Here's how much better the channel did this month. That's great. But you can't optimize a channel. You have to optimize keywords or partners in this case. So really use the data, work on a partner-by-partner basis, and don't herd cats. Really work with the big partners and the medium-sized partners that have the potential to benefit from some testing and some ideas that you have. Also back on CPC, you could also just do a straight placement. $1,500 a month. You keep doing what you're doing. Keep me in these parts on your site. Write this content. Do these things. Don't stop doing that, and I'll be happy. That's another option. So again, I wanted to jump through this because I really want to hear what people have to say. Either pro, con. I'm not always right. I'm usually right. So I have a lot of opinions, but I'm always open to having my mind changed. And again, if you want to get a link, you can email me just commission splitting webinar in an email, or you can come up and give me your card later, and my marketing team is just putting it up, so I'll send you the link maybe next week or something after they get it up. But it's a really good, it goes into a lot more of the nuts and bolts. So if anybody has any questions or comments or differing opinions, yep. Right, so the question is, what other networks or platforms support commission splitting? The models that I showed you at the end, we support, mainly because I don't want to do commission splitting. I fight with our sales team all the time because you have advertisers that, here's a weird thing. You have advertisers who want it in the sales process, and then they never do it after they're sold. We have a lot of features that people are real excited about, and they buy it, and then they don't use those features after they bought it. And I'm not going to bore you with them all. I know ShareSale, I think, can write some rules around that. I think AvantLink can market it that they can do it. I don't think CJ and LinkShare have ever done anything like that. I don't think PepperJam does that. I don't know of anybody really doing commission splitting. But like I said, I did talk to advertisers that have done it, considered it, or worked on those networks, or employees from those networks to understand better how it's really played out. Any other thoughts or comments? That's a great question. How many here are affiliates? So if you're an affiliate, what, are you wish every advertiser did commission splitting? Raise your hand. Only one. So I will say that most affiliates don't like it because it's not very clear. Like if you tell me, Todd, I'm going to pay you 8% of sale or 25 cents per click, I get it. I have to be last click for 8%. But if you say you get 8%, but if you're second to the last, which you don't know and you can't control, you're going to get 4% or 2%. And then if you're third to the last under these, it's there's no way to understand it or know about it. I just have to look in the reporting and go, oh, I guess I was third to the last again. So I think most publishers want to know what they're going to get paid. It'd be like if I hired you and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pay you $30K a year, but if you help some other employees, you get part of their salary. I don't know. I mean, yeah. You're like, I don't know how to make this work. I got to pay my bills. So everybody just wants to know what they're getting paid. So I think simpler is better, but it's a good question. You could ask your affiliates, right? You could say, hey, we're thinking of doing commission splitting. We might be a year from now, but I just want your opinion on it. Do you work with any advertisers that do? And what would you think if we did it? Always a good opinion to get. The guy who's making the money for you, right? Doing the work. Any other questions or thoughts? Yes, I 100% agree with you. Here's why. He's saying you should see every channel, and that's one of the things that we provide as part of our platform for Partner Manager in our enterprise suite, that you can see every channel and every affiliate. So you can see the different channels and the affiliates, how they interact. And until you really understand that, it's really hard to know the value of every affiliate, especially your top affiliates, and the costs and things like that. So I'm getting the times up. But I'm here to answer questions. I think we have a few minutes before the next one. And then again, if you email me or give me your card, I'll send you a link to that on-demand webinar. I think you'll find some value there if you have more questions or want to know more about commission splitting. Thanks a lot, everyone.